Hi, I'm Antoine HUBERT. I'm the CEO and co-founder of YNSECT. YNSECT is the company in the food and agriculture field. We are operating vertical farms where we have insects and we are extracting premium products to feed plants, to feed farm animals, to feed pets and to feed humans. This in a very sustainable and healthy way.
Okay. How long has YNSECT been around? How long have you been doing this?
So YNSECT is born 11 years ago. So in this decade, we have been growing from just the four of us with my co-founders in a very small lab in Paris into more than 300 people. Today, we are operating in France, in the Netherlands, and in the Midwest in the US. And we are farming mealworms, beetles in our vertical farms. And we have scientists, we have engineers, we have business development teams that are here to grow this market and show to the world like YNSECT are new ingredients that are answering very important topic about sustainability, but also very highly nutritious and highly healthy ingredients for all the applications from the soil to the table.
Okay, great. And what's your current approach to sustainability and sustainable manufacturing?
So sustainability is really the DNA of the company. When we got born, we started. But initially, we didn't know really how it would be sustainable. So everything is based on data and how to measure really this impact. So over time, we have been working with our teams, our engineers on the scale up of the company, but on the product value and testing with scientists, really on the field, growing wheat, corn, vineyards, but also feeding fish, feeding poultry, feeding pets, cats and dogs, and see the real impact. And we could see that animals were growing faster and with less mortality, same for the plants. So overall, we could do carbon footprints, water footprints. It's like 40 times less carbon emissions than beef, 40 times less water consumption than pigs, or 20 times less land use than chicken. And this is really based on real data on real production facilities.
And so I know that you guys were a startup and this is a new kind of sector, new activity. What were the challenges that you faced in the beginning of this and how did you kind of overcome those through your scaling up process and economies of scale? Can you explain that a little bit?
Over the past 10 years, our main challenges were about developing the product and the technology at scale. So we were starting from a small lab and scaling up to the prototype, a pilot, a small plant almost at scale, and now just starting a massive flagship plant, vertical farm, north of France, which is 40,000 square meters and like 120 feet high. So it's really unique, and it has been done just through also the support of many partners, scientists helping to understand more the product, but also a lot of engineer and equipment companies that help us to co-create, to work together on what were really our needs. Because at the beginning, we just didn't know exactly what were our needs. Okay, we need to flow this air to get out of the vertical farm. We need to sort this insect, the insect from their manure, which is a great fertilizer. We need to process in this quality. We didn't know exactly how to do it, so we had to co-construct together as a team, extended team with our partners. So Clauger and Sodistra were critical players, and they took the risk like 5 or 6 years ago to work with a very small company like us and help us to develop our technology on this HVAC system, which is critical to maintain the temperature and moisture in the vertical farms where our insects are living. So it was a great example of collaboration and cooperation to scale up and reach the maturity of what we have today north of France.
Great. Looking ahead, I know that you mentioned that you have factories not only here in France, you're a French company, but I imagine that eventually you'd like to be known as an international company. How do you see other markets accepting your products, or what are other zones that are maybe a little bit advanced in terms of accepting what you're trying to implement throughout the world?
So today we are really mainly based in Europe. We are in France and Netherlands. But Europe is also the most advanced regulatory framework and the most advanced in terms of financing, and it's a very key market in many applications. Like pet food is the first market in the world with North America. It's also a very big market for chicken, pig's feeds and fertilizer. So Europe is a critical market for us. So from France and Netherlands, we are aiming to targeting to grow further in Europe, Western Europe, Eastern Europe. But we also acquired a small company in Nebraska, USA, like 18 months ago, because US, yes, the first market in pet food, it's the largest market in many agricultural, I would say, applications. And for us, it's critical to be there. We announced recently that we were collaborating with a large food company in the US, but also one in Mexico, because Mexico is maybe one of the countries in the world that is eating the most insect in the world traditionally as human food. So we see North America and Europe as critical market for us, and for sure at some point all Asian markets, especially as human food, because in China, in Thailand or in Japan it's also normal to eat insects, and there will be also critical countries or to feed the shrimps and the tilapia and all the different aspects. For sure, we are here to feed the world, contribute to any diets and plates of consumer in the world. So the market is global. We intend to be everywhere, supported by our partners like Clauger and Sodistra to make it possible with real plants everywhere and addressing the customers' needs.
Thank you. And then looking ahead, what do you see as the major challenges to not only the traditional food and beverage markets, but also to the alternative proteins and things that are more in your ecosystem of alternative ways of traditional manufacturing? What do you see as the main challenges or things to overcome in the near and long term?
I think one of the main challenges now ahead of us, beyond just growing internationally with our partners and build more vertical farms everywhere, adapted to the local context, local regulation, local supply chains, it's about going beyond animal feed and plant fertilizer, where acceptance is very high. It's natural for a fish to eat insect, for a chicken to use the insect manure to fertilize fields. It's about making an impact in human food, or eating insects. And our ambition is that in a couple of years, maybe in 10 years, it's going to be normal for any European consumer or any American consumer to find in their supermarkets, to find on internet, to find in the restaurants, insect food products like insect mincemeat, insect sausages, or insect in their cereals in the morning, pasta, reinforced pasta with our proteins, etc. So there are so many applications today done by our customers, and our ambition is just that any consumer find it just normal to find there everywhere and understand the sustainable value and the nutritional value of the product.